Welcome to Tuscany, where we're live from the Mugello circuit for round 6 of the ISR AIC Championship. We're now halfway through the season and with only 5 rounds remaining, including today, the championship race is heating up. Mugello is known for its demanding high-speed layout. The bend of sweeping curves, tight chicanes and long straights creates the perfect challenge for drivers looking to prove their skill. Here, every lap is a test of precision and endurance, as Formula 1 found out in 2020. Andrew Pavia comes into this round with momentum on his side, having dominated a rainy round 5. His powerful drive placed him firmly back in the title race, but will have to push even harder if he wants to close the gap to Jonathan Carrera, who's holding pretty at the top. Craig, welcome along. It's been 3 rounds since he was last in the race. How are things, and what are you looking forward to today?
Hi, thank you Toby, and hi everybody, thank you for having me back first of all, and yeah, I'm just super excited to see that we're over halfway now, just see where like the championship's going to lead towards, so this should be a very interesting race today.
It should be. Halfway through the season, Mugello is a beauty of Tuscany, and it will absolutely be one that the drivers have to put their all into, as we have a lot of things to consider in the second half of the championship. So, moving into qualifying, Christopher Pettersson and Callum Spencer will take over the back row following their respective penalties last time out in Spa. Then it's Valerio Campagnari, homeboy, having a poor performance only in P20. Josh Martin, P18, and Craig McDonald, P17. Those two will be disappointed with their results this weekend. Gareth Lennon lines up in P16, and championship contender Douglas Anderson lining up P15, but crucially championship leader Jonathan Carrera just ahead of him in P14, so very much in reach. Philip Blum then lines up P12 alongside Christian Braslov, Sim staff running a special livery this weekend. We'll hope that brings us fortune. Josh Wood P10, and then James Underhill P9. Andrew Pavia last time out won. Today he'll have to do it all from 8th place. Who wants to repeat that? Danny Diaz P7, Colin McAllister, another good result in qualifying, will hope to convert from P6. He's alongside Olav Odben. Tom McDonald P4, Ed Cantwell took pole last time out. He takes top 3 again today. Marcus Town in second, and for the first time in a very long time, Kevin Jacobs, the defending champion, takes pole position. Now, if I remember correctly, that's been an awful long time. I'm thinking all the way back to potentially Assen in season 4, so it's been a long time since Kevin started at the front. We will see what the American can do from P1 today. So we hear the 5 red lights raring up for the Italian Grand Prix here at Mugello. Lights out, and away we go now. Who gets the better start of the 2? We can't quite see from this angle. Jacobs looks like he's got a pretty good start, but here we come then, thundering over the hill for the first time, and Kevin Jacobs looking like he's going to retain the lead. Marcus Townend is going to look to do something about it up the inside. He'll mount some kind of challenge, but nothing doing on this occasion. So through the next set of corners we come. Townend has to do it around the outside, nothing doing on this occasion. His teammate Camwell will fall in just behind Olav Odben respectfully P5, and then Danny Diaz is alongside Andrew Pavia. Winner last time out is going to see if he can do something about Diaz on the very first lap as he goes into the corner, and there's contact and further contact, and Pavia is sent spinning into the barriers on lap 1. Is he out? Is that the race winner from last time out already, Craig? I think it is.
It looks like it indeed. That little contact to send his car right out. He actually says he's okay, but is the car going to be okay? But no, great start from Kevin Jacobs to begin with. I can see he's already pulled out a nice little lead into the beginning. As you can see here on board with Jonathan Carrera, is nicely sandwiched in between cars. But I did notice, Toby, that Kevin Jacobs has, as you can see there, started off on the super softs. So him getting a great start to begin with to get himself out front. Let's see if he can put a gap. But obviously Marcus Townsend on the mediums is still trying to keep up with him.
He certainly is, and I mean, the super soft tyre is an interesting strategy. It does give you the best opportunity on them opening laps, and it looks like he's maximising that performance. Beginning here, we ride on board with Olav Odben, who's closing in on Tom McDonald. Is he going to be able to do anything? DRS will not be activated for these gentlemen just yet, so he'll have to do it the old-fashioned way if he wants to do anything. Looks to the inside of the door, firmly closed, respectfully in his face. You can see some move in the background. Josh Wood trying to go all the way around the outside of Philip Blum. Has he got that move complete? Philip Blum will now try come back around the outside and holds the inside line and retains P9. So Wood looking very feisty on them super soft compounded tyres. We saw the same from Kevin Jacobs. Wood is showing how impressive these tyres are even when they're in the mid-pack, as he fails to get past his compatriot on the first attempt, but he was the only man to attempt to move into that corner, so showing you a little bit of what the grip difference is able to offer him on this occasion. But Craig, lap 2, halfway through it now, Olav Odben is also on them super soft compound of tyres, and he's pressuring Tom McDonald.
Yeah, so as we all know from previous rounds, Toby, the Super Softs, obviously the quickest tyre on the track, but they wear away so quickly. So obviously Olaf will probably have to try and get past Thomas McDonnell as quickly as possible to try and gain those positions. Otherwise, those tyres could fall off really, really quickly. And obviously, if he doesn't get past them, Toby, then he might have to make an early pit stop, potentially.
Potentially, so DRS will be available to the drivers for the first time down this long straight. It's quite a long one here in Italy, and Townend will be the man feeling the most benefit as Kevin Jacobs does not have that DRS in defence. But I think on this occasion, Townend just slightly too far back. Yes, he tries it, but nothing doing. Olaf unable to make an impression either. Will Wood make the move on the second time of asking? Yes, he will. Straight to the inside this time, no messing about, and he moves up into P9. Great result from the American. As we get some replays then of what happened on this start. So this is Andrew Pavia in the turn 1 melee, looking to navigate his way around. He's side by side with Danny Diaz, looking to try go all the way around the outside. The racing line will actually favour him here, but he gets a bit of a poor exit, and he's just going to run up the inside here. And this is, you'd expect this to be a good one, but he just gets on the curb, gets a bit out of shape, and he is collected by a car behind. That's a really hard one to call, Craig, but I don't know. I think just bad positioning.
Yeah, I know the stewards will look at it, but like you said, it's kind of one of those, the car from behind just had nowhere to go by the looks of it. As you can see here on board with Danny Diaz from a rear view, and there's the turn, and then as you can see there, the car behind, it looks like a team disconnect car, I believe, just had nowhere to go, so just caught the tail end and sent it via spinning. Oh, it was actually a Simpson car, so as you can see here on board with Christoph. So as you can see, Petson on the inside there, just going to go up the inside, make contact, and there you go. Could Christoph have reacted quicker to get out of the way? As you can see, he's calling for damage to there, Toby, but could he have had quicker reactions to go to the right? Who knows?
So Douglas Anderson, man P2 in the championship, starting from quite far down in the championship helmet. He gained 3 positions on that start. The man doing everything he needs to do in this championship fight, and crucially, that man on your left there is his championship rival, Jonathan Carrera, and he's going to throw it to the inside and get past him nice and early. He's now going to go into contact, I think, with Craig Evans. He's going to go try around the outside. Great start. Obviously, one of the positions I imagine will be gained from Pavia as that accident occurs up ahead. But yes, Anderson doing everything he needs to do, Craig. He's dispatched the man he needs to outscore today. Now he just needs to drive to the points.
Yeah, totally that, Toby. Douglas will just be looking at his little rearview mirror, just making sure as long as he stays behind me, I can start pulling a gap in this championship. As that's the replays over, as we jump back on into the lead with Kevin Jacobs, with Marcus Townend still on those mediums, keeping it under half a second. Again, don't forget that Kevin Jacobs is on them super softs to begin with, and Marcus is on mediums. So he is keeping that gap as we are like halfway through lap 3. And as we fall back to James Underhill in 11th, as we can see under investigation, I believe then this must be from the incident involving, obviously yes, the 2 cars causing a collision. Hopefully we'll get the result of that soon. But as we can say, again, jumping back on board with Colin McAllister, he is keeping that train going, Toby. But yeah, Olav doing also the same. So everyone's keeping stretched out here, Toby. Is this the race settling down, or is this people playing to their strategy?
So as we come through the high downforce orientated middle sector, I think there is just a case of having to follow and bide your time for this moment here, where you can get on that straight, you can open that DRS, and you can slingshot. And in this case, look at the speed difference for Marcus Townend. If the inside is covered off by Jacobs, he looks to the outside, that's also covered off, so he'll have to go back down to the inside. Marcus Townend up the inside of Kevin Jacobs for the race lead. Kevin Jacobs is holding it, but he goes a little bit wide. That's going to give an opportunity. Townend around the outside, and on the medium compound of tyre, takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. The defending champion Kevin Jacobs demerged to P2, but he's not happy about it. He's looking to the inside, doors shut in his face, and that's almost a replica of what happened with Pavia on lap 1. So Jacobs now under a little bit of pressure from behind, as we see Olav Obven looking to the inside of McDonnell, nothing doing. Does that give an opportunity to McAllister? Sorry, no, nothing. A little bit of bunching up, and everyone's getting quite squirrely, but Townend makes the move, and we'll have to see now, Craig, as we get no further action. I believe this will be for the lap 1 incident, sorry. So I'm assuming, like you say, it was just the car behind didn't really have any time to do anything. Pavia was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that is a disastrous start for the man who won last time out in Belgium. But Jacobs on the super soft compounded tyre, is he looking vulnerable as Cantwell is behind him, Craig, on the hard compound?
Indeed, yeah, as we were saying before, like, look at the gap. Marcus Townsend has now pulled out. It's almost a full second on Kevin Jacobs. So are them super softs going already? Only on lap 4. So again, everybody else that's on super softs, could they start to fall down the pack, give other people chances? But during all that melee, Woods in 9th took the fastest lap. As we see, Kevin Jacobs is looking back up the inside, but Marcus is like, nope, I'm keeping this position. But then that's also having Cantwell behind it to make sure that the door stays shut as well. Danny Diaz falling back to Thomas McDonald. So all these cars can start to gain going up the field, because we are now less than half a second between cars now, between 1st and 5th, Toby.
The grid is staying mighty fine and mighty close, especially through a circuit that we thought would likely be dominated by some dirty air, but these cars are really managing to stick within them gaps. The additional DRS zones, we're in one of them now. This is the second of the 3 DRS zones available on this circuit, and then we will go around this corner and you'll see the rear wings pop open for the 3rd and final time on this lap before they begin the next lap. So the DRS is helping keep everyone close together, which is what it's designed to do, but it's also incredibly powerful, isn't it, down that start-finish straight. It's the point where Townend is pulling away, but he was still under pressure coming into turn 1 on lap 5, but this time around it looks like he might break out of that 1 second, and that will leave Jacobs very vulnerable to an attack from his teammate behind. So Jacobs does just get a DRS, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think that is going to be P2 going away for the defending champion as Ed Cantwell, the man who started on pole last time out. He's boxed in there. Townend's ahead, and it's actually forced Kevin Jacobs to send it up the inside of Townend. So Jacobs deciding the best form of defence is attack, and it's worked. He's going to go around the outside, and on some seriously worn out super softs, Kevin Jacobs retakes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix, and Ed Cantwell will look desperately to follow him through on Townend. He throws it to the inside, but it's blocked, and this time he'll get a better run through there. He'll look to the inside, coming into the sweeping right-hander. Is he able to do anything? No! Townend just holds on, but Olaf trying to make a move on McDonald in the background as well, and this is crazy stuff, Craig. The best form of defence is attack for Kevin Jacobs.
I just want to know, was his super softs actually... Oh, we just have a retirement now. Danny Diaz, I wonder what happened there. We'll hopefully come back to that. But going back to my original statement, then I want to see if Kevin Jacobs' super softs actually were wearing off, or was he just, like, reserving his tyre wear? Let's got a little replay of this. Is this the incident where we find out with Danny Diaz? Let's have a look at some... into the bend. Oh, he gets some airtime. I wonder who hit him up the backside. He got some airtime. Let's hope the driver is okay on that one. Let's have a look. Colin McAllister from behind for Ivory Racing. Is it going to look like Colin's going to be doing the damage here? Oh, Colin does not slow down. Yeah. Poor reaction time from McAllister there, and yeah, just straight up the back of Danny Diaz, and sends him into the shadow realm, as we can see there from a rear view from Olaf Toby.
That is unbelievable. Yeah, that's a very interesting incident. So he is just hoisted up, as you can see, and as the tyre just bounces against him, it sends him into a pirouette and a huge crash into the Heineken barrier, and that is huge for the championship. Let's not forget this man had a fantastic P2 in Belgium, which threw himself firmly into title contention, and I think he's just been shown the door out of title contention courtesy of Colin McAllister, so he'll be furious with that, and we'll see what the stewards have to say about it. So here we go then, lap number 6 coming on to lap number 7. Townend will resume DRS assault, and like we say, was the super softs that bad for Jacobs? It doesn't matter either way, because Townend is ahead before we reach the corner. Will he do anything? Has he got the grip to go around the outside? He's trying it, but he goes wide and he's actually on the grass. Is that going to put him under pressure from Cantwell? Yes, it is. The man on the hard compound tyre, his teammate, goes up into P2, and Kevin Jacobs loses 2 positions in the same corner, and we have McDonald following him behind as well. As we see, McAllister still, that incident has not shaken him whatsoever, because he's still still getting aggressive, trying to get past the Norwegian of Odven, and he'll go down the inside again. Nothing doing on this occasion, and that's going to bunch him up to Christian Vrazilov, who is running that tribute livery on the Simstaff car this weekend to celebrate the sister brand Simrig Support launching. So well done to those guys to getting that launched, and they will hope this livery brings them some fortune. But in order to do that, they need to dispatch McAllister and Odven ahead, and McAllister looking feisty despite the fact he's under review for that incident with Diaz, and Townend has pulled a second out over Cantwell in all of that, and Jacobs has fallen out of DRS from his teammate as well. So you've got to imagine, Craig, on this occasion it's looking like McDonald will be the next man to pass our defending champion.
Yeah, as we can see here, Tom McDonald looking down this side. I think he's just like, I see the door open, thank you much, I'm coming through. Does that mean these tyres are going for Kevin Jacobs now? I know I've said it a couple times, and it must be, because he's coming into the pits. I was going to say, we know what kind of driver Kevin Jacobs is, and he will hate himself for letting those positions go. As we can see here, Kristen is looking around the outside, but the Iron Brew racing car of McAllister is holding. Oh, I was wondering if there would be score. He does go off, so then that lets the Iron Brew racing car, but then will Philip Blum follow through? Does indeed. Joel, no. He's shut the door also on Philip. So as we board on board and we see a penalty, this must be to do with Mr. McAllister. I wonder what the stewards have said about this one. Qualifying ban. I'm not surprised on that one from Mr. McAllister. But yes, as we can see here with Mr. Plum, he's trying to stick to the back of the car. So I wonder now, as we are halfway through lap 8, as we see some people have already started to pit and their strategies are coming into play, Toby. As we can see here, Carrera has lost 4 positions. Again, we know what kind of driver he is in this championship. He will not be happy, Toby, losing 4 positions.
So we have a live from the pit lane.
It's a slow stop for Jacobs. The time up on your screen now, but they could not get the wheel on. He was stuck for so long, disaster, team disconnect.
Wowee, an 18.39 second pit stop for Jacobs, and if you look on your timing screen, I've just noticed that he's all the way in P20. That's huge, but what's even more huge is Cantwell has got an absolutely massive DRS slipstream attack to go around the outside of our race leader Townend, and Cantwell will take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix just as his teammate uncovers a whole list of misfortunes in the pit lane and comes out in last place. As we can see, Colin McAllister is still fighting away with Vrazilov, who does get the job done on this occasion. Douglas Anderson making the move on Craig Ems behind. That is great for the championship, and yes, we saw Carrera, as it stands, will lose 4 points. Accident in the background. Lennon is off into the gravel. Spencer's off into the grass. Contact somewhere along the line for these two, and that is heartbreak for Lennon again, as he says on the radio. Another misfortunate race for the Northern Irishman, who DNFs once again out in a lonely P13. We'll have to see what happened there. All we saw was the ending of that as he got skidding into the gravel and Spencer went skidding into the grass. So somewhere there has been contact between them two. But yes, Jacobs has gone from P3 or P4, I think it was when he pitted, to he's over. The only person he's ahead of now is Lennon. There's the lock up ahead for Philip Blum, going up the inside. Contact between him and Colin McAllister. So Colin locked up on their medium compounded tyres, and that's put him under pressure from the American, and they'll have to see if he can do anything into the last corner. I don't think he can, but even the medium tyres now, Craig, looking at risk. But the one who's at risk of anyone right now is Colin McAllister. Will he come in after that huge lock-up? No, he won't, so he will lose this position, no doubt, to Philip Blum, who has the DRS to go all the way around the outside of the Scotsman for renowned NAR. The American, the last man in our championship, moves up into P4. Brilliant, as we see Townend, Anderson pit, but Cantwell stays out. But yes, disaster, Craig, for Kevin Jacobs, who's all the way in P19, but he was fighting for the lead.
Yeah, as I said before, we know what type of driver he is. He will be very upset with himself, going from literally on the podium all the way down to the bottom. But as we saw there as well, the stewards did say that there's an under investigation between the cars of Lennon and Spencer. So hopefully we might see a replay as we see Josh Wood just go, hello, I'm taking the inside around Toby Byrne. But yes, but it's one of those, yeah, Kevin Jacobs is not going to be too happy with himself, going from all the way on the podium, all the way down to last. But as we can see here, we're on board with Colin McAllister up in 5th. Again, I don't think Colin's going to be happy with himself this drive around, picking up that qualifying ban. Once he hears that he's got that, he's not going to be super happy about that. But Jonathan Carrera sitting in 6th, just sitting behind McAllister. Yeah, he's playing on those, are they the hard tyres? So again, I'm presuming he hasn't pitted yet, so he could be going on to super softs next, or mediums, Toby, and then that could hopefully keep him in the top 10 to get some points.
Colin McAllister ditches into the pit. We see some other cars. I think that's Razalov and Tom McDonald coming to the pits as well. So Cantwell, Blum and Carrera are the only men not to pit. And I think I saw some action there in the rearview mirror. I did. It's Craig Evans looking to go all the way around the outside of championship leader Jonathan Carrera. Will he get that mission done? No, he goes a little bit on the grass, a little bit too over-ambitious on that occasion. Our championship leader retains the position. As we can see, the two Nemesis Racing Team cars going hammer and tongs. Marcus Townend makes a move on Craig Evans' teammate Underhill to progress himself up into P9 as he waits for other people to pit around him. So it'll be very interesting. So I think our net race lead is going to very much be between Townend and Cantwell. Cantwell is not currently ahead, or is he? I can't quite see him on there. No, he hasn't pitted yet, sorry. So as we ride on board with the only previous Italian Grand Prix winner, Christopher Pettersson, who won in Monza in Season 3 for the team he's driving for today, in fact. So not going to repeat that history today, unfortunately. So it will be between, I think, Cantwell and Townend once all is said and done. So here we are, Craig, some replays with Callum Spencer. I'm assuming, is this what the incident we caught at the end of? So he's following his teammate Jonathan Carrera through, some cars getting feisty up ahead. Looking to follow this through, he'd slow down, and oh, Ware actually hit up the rear, so it was Spencer got tagged by someone, and that's what spun him. And there is Lennon off in the gravel, so I don't know if there's been further contact, or was it just Lennon who has hit us here? We'll have to wait and see from another angle. So yes, riding on board, so Gareth Lennon is directly behind Callum Spencer here, and we're following through as the battle's handling ahead. Spencer's just being overly cautious, brakes a little bit, Lennon's not expecting it, he hits him, someone actually hits Lennon, and that's what put Lennon in the gravel, Craig.
I wonder what the stewards are going to say about that, because yeah, as we're on board with Valerio Campagnari, he's the one, I'm presuming, tags Lennon up back. So obviously Spencer brakes, Lennon couldn't react in time, and then yeah, Valerio gets him up the rear. It's interesting that the stewards aren't looking at that incident as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, and then here's a further back view. Christoph Pettersson is just like, oh, I'm going to try and stay out of the way of this, I don't want any of this, I just want to take extra 2 positions and move on forward. So yeah, he knows now the car in front has got a little bit of damage, so he's like, maybe I can get positions. As we see here on board with Craig Evans up in 4th, he'll be super happy with how his race is going today, because I know this season he's not performed to as much as he wants. As we can just see there from the stewards, no further action, I'm presuming it's to do with Lennon and Spencer. So yeah, and as we see, Ed Cantwell in first comes into the pits, so he's taken them hard tyres all the way to end of lap 11, along with Philip Plum, as Jonathan Carrero races on through to take pole position. Toby, do I believe Jonathan Carrera's pitted yet, or is he still out on his first set of tyres?
Yeah, I don't believe Carrera or Pettersson, who's now in second, has pitted, so this is the first man who has pitted, so Olaf Odburn's in the lead, but he's not going to be in the lead for long, because here is Marcus Townend putting the pressure on for the race lead at the Italian Grand Prix. He's going to go around the outside before we even reach the corner. Marcus Townend, when all is said and done, if these two pit ahead of him, will retake the race lead, and it was Olaf who actually had done the best job until that stage, but it is taken away from him by Townend. Townend, which will remember this, Craig. He was out to win his first Grand Prix when you last commentated with us in South Korea, but he dramatically crashed in the pit lane. Is he going to make amends for that mistake today? Olaf will do everything he can to deny him, because he's also chasing his first ever ISR Grand Prix victory here today, and it is a battle between Townend. It's a battle between Odvin. I don't think Cantwell's strategy has worked out for him today. He's all the way down here. He is in 11th. He's on fresh super softs, so no doubt he's going to be very fast on this circuit, but I don't know how many positions he's going to make up in just 2 laps, so I don't think that strategy from Team Disconnect has worked out today. I think this is firmly between, if Carrero and Pettersson do not pit, then it is up to them. If they do pit, it is firmly, Craig, between Townend and Odvin, as we see Razalov all over the back of another McDonald. Not sure if it's Tom or Craig. It's Craig, so Craig McDonald ahead is under significant pressure from the Bulgarian.
As you can see there, I think Carrera and Pettersson are in the pits. Yes, they are. So that makes Townsend the race leader at the moment, with Odford right behind. As you can see, Christoph Pettersson trying to go around the outside of the Macca Motorsport car. Couldn't quite catch who that was. Was that obviously Tom or Craig McDonald? And he did make it stick, so he is now up into 4th with one of the McDonald brothers back behind in 5th. So yes, Toby, you were correct. Like, they have pitted. Oh, Josh Martin just going a little round around the outside. Will he look at the inside? No, the door is shut from Ed Calwell. But yes, you were right. So they have pitted, which puts Townsend back in the lead, and now he's a 1.4 second lead over Odven. But do we know what tyre set they're on, Toby? Or do we think, like, this is it? Marcus will hopefully coast home and take the victory.
I think everyone now has pitted, so realistically these guys should be going to the end. Now I'm assuming we'll go and take a look. So Christian Vrazilov, by the way, where has he come from? Running that special livery for SimStaff for the launch of Simrig support seems to have given him an extra second a lap, hasn't it? Because he's come out of nowhere and he's now challenging James Underhill for the final podium position. He's on the fresh supers. It looks like Underhill also on fresh supers ahead. So this is a straight dogfight up until the final corner we go, and he gets a run. Is he going to look to the inside? Christian Vrazilov, yes he is, down the inside, takes P3 for SimStaff, running that beautiful Simrig support tribute livery. And they celebrate the launch of a new company this weekend. We celebrate a podium for Christian Vrazilov as he moves up into P3. As we see some cars pit in the background who aren't able to go the way. But Douglas Anderson, championship contender, all over the back of Craig McDonald, will look to the inside on the final lap to try get those extra championship points. This is crucial championship defining stuff here. Every point counts at this stage of the championship. Douglas Anderson makes the move crucially as his championship rival Carrera sits outside of the points. If things finish the way they look today, Craig, then Douglas Anderson will close the gap by 12 points. That is huge. That effectively is Carrera's safety net gone for the second half of the series if this is how this result finishes. Cantwell, by the way, came out in P11 following his strategy and he's up into P6. So Cantwell is absolutely flying on the Supersoft compounded tyres and its damage limitation, so he's by far the fastest car on circuit right now. He has one more car in front of him up for grabs, and it is Craig McDonald. I don't know if he's going to be able to make that move stick towards the end of the Grand Prix. He's at the final DRS zone, so no DRS assistance will aid him in his finale here. He'll have to do it the old-fashioned way into the final corner, but who has done it the old-fashioned way is the man, Marcus Townend, denied a victory cruelly in South Korea of round 3. He's made amends for that mistake today. Marcus Townend wins the Italian Grand Prix from Olav Odven in P2. Christian Vrazilov comes home in P3, a fantastic result for him, and crucially Douglas Anderson closes that championship gap by 12 points. A fantastic day for the Scotsman all around, and Cantwell did get the job done on McDonald in the end and finishes P5. He could have had the win today, but he manages to do some damage limitation, and there you are, confirmation. Big day in the championship, Craig, for Douglas Anderson.
Yeah, he's going to be super happy with how his day's gone, taking up 12 positions. So as you can see there, congratulations to Marcus Townsend taking the win and taking the full 25 points. Olav Odven in second, taking 18 for Renan Nar. And then Kristen SimStaff with that extra great livery for today takes the third and final podium. We drop down to Douglas Anderson with extra 12, followed by Ed Cantwell, Craig McDonald, and Toby Byrne. He's got to have an honourable mention. He started at the back of the grid to finish 7th. That's a great achievement. With then Josh Martin for SimStaff, Tom McDonald for Macca Motorsport, and raiding off the top 10, Joshua Wood, Toby, with that extra fastest lap, which is an extra point.
Yes, and Colin McAllister, he will be ruining his luck. Still has only scored 25 points from the first ever round. Jonathan Carrero will be ruining his luck too. Only manages P12 today here in Tuscany, and he sacrifices 12 points in the championship to Douglas Anderson. We'll have to see on the standings what kind of effect that has, as we can see further down the grid. Philip Blum, James Underhill, the last of your finishers today. Gareth Lennon, Danny Diaz and Andrew Pavia all taken out in 3 separate incidents today, so they will be ruining some bad luck. Kevin Jacobs, let's talk about bad luck. Kevin Jacobs with an almost 20-second pit stop firmly takes him out of contention today. So Jonathan Carrera remains in the lead of the championship, but the gap has closed to just 6 points from Anderson. By the way, Anderson is now only a single point ahead of Townend. So Townend, with today's victory, has thrown himself into the championship. And then Olav Odven, Craig McDonald, Danny Diaz are only 10 points out of the discussion, which is very easily swingable in this championship. So there is essentially, Craig, the top 6 all firmly in chance of winning this title. We have 4 rounds to go after today. Anything can happen, and it is so close.
Yeah, like we were saying, we were all race. We were talking about how Douglas Anderson can close the gap on the first spot, but then Marcus was like, hey, don't forget about me with that race win, and he's closing that gap too, as we can see here as well. Colin McAllister on 25, Tom McDonald on 23, James Underhill on 21, and Toby Byrne on 18. Kevin Jacobs following on 17, Petterson on 16 points, Callum Spencer on 10, Valera Campagnari on 8 alongside Josh Wood, and Craig Evans on 4. Yes, Toby, so them standings for single drivers as well. Oh, my mistake, I forgot these two on the end. Gareth Lennon and Philip Plum following up the rear with 4 points and 1 point for Philip Plum. Yes, Toby, the championship now for team constructors is looking ever so tasty. We now have triple digits for our Panasonic Toyota with 106. Toby, we've got a nice little gap there between first and second.
Yes, with Marcus Townend's win and Toby Byrne finishing in the points as well, and as well as a double, non-point scoring finish for Winfield JSR, they've actually sacrificed second place in the championship to Osboo's Racing Now, who will just edge out Macca Motorsport, who were also in the conversation. So it is very much a good result for ART Panasonic Toyota at the moment. They do have a race victory over any other team, so they are in a fantastic position heading into the second half of the season, and they've really been the consistent team this year, haven't they? But SimStaff, great result today. Team Disconnect have got great qualifying pace at the moment, but they're just not able to put it together in the race. So this championship is really heating up in both the teams and the drivers. Crucially today, though, Douglas Anderson has made big inroads. Jonathan Carrera's safety gap that he developed from those 2 race victories, gone as we head into the final 4 rounds of this championship. Next time out, we move over to California for Grand Valley Speedway for round 7 of this thrilling tale. Once again, thank you so much for Craig McDonald joining me in the comms box today. Thank you all for watching at home, and until next time out, we will see you then. Bye bye.